The playback panel gives us a variety of other options we can apply to our slideshow. Under the slideshow mode, make sure you have automatic enabled for now. We'll go over manual in a moment. The first option, sync slides to music, is more relevant if you have more than one audio track. We can set the slide length and crossfades between each slide using these sliders here. At the moment, each slide will stay on the screen for 4.2 seconds. Our transition we can set to a different value than we have right now. So for example, let's set a transition of 1.2 seconds. Now if you take a look at the bottom right corner of your slideshow, you'll see that we have the full duration of the show, which is 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Watch what happens when we increase the length of each slide. The length of the slideshow increases as well. If we click the Fit to Music button, Lightroom will automatically adjust our slideshow length so that it fits our audio track. So I'll go ahead and click it and see what happens. As soon as I do, we get a pop-up message saying that the slides will not fit the music. Please use fewer photos in the slideshow or add more music. This means that our audio track is not long enough for the amount of photos we have. And so what we'll need to do is we'll need to decrease the time of the crossfades and perhaps even the slide length a little bit and see if that fixes the problem. So based on the amount of photos we have, Lightroom has automatically set the slide length to 1.1 seconds with a crossfade duration of 0.3 seconds. So each slide is going to transition from one to the next fairly quickly. If you wanted it to go slower, you'd have to remove the amount of photos we have or use a longer audio track. We've talked about audio balance, and if you slide it over to the left, the audio file attached to your video gets preference, whereas if you slide this to the right, the music attached to your slideshow gets preference. You can add pan and zoom effects to your slides by enabling this checkbox here. And then you can also specify whether you want a fairly dramatic effect using the high option or the low option. Repeat slideshow will play your slideshow over and over again. It'll loop it if you have this checkbox checked. And if you want your slides to play in a random order, place a check mark in this checkbox. The playback screen, this is only relevant if you have multiple monitors hooked up to your computer. At the moment I have 3. And you'll see that the play button is in the center monitor. If I wanted to change it to the right monitor, I could. But I want them to play in this monitor, so I'm going to keep it in the middle. You also have the option to blank out other screens while the slideshow is playing. And then you can set the quality of your slideshow, either standard, draft, or high quality. The only real difference is the amount of time it takes to process the slideshow. Typically, you want to go with either standard or high. We'll leave it at standard. Now click on the manual option here. The manual option gives you the ability to transition from one slide to the next manually. So you can just click from one slide to the next rather than having Lightroom automatically do the transitions for you. And this is good if you have some kind of dialogue attached to each slide. It gives you the flexibility of changing slides whenever you need to. With the manual option, you do have the ability to repeat the slideshow when it's complete. Keep in mind that the repeat slideshow and random order would be irrelevant in the manual slideshow mode.